Usually start my day with a large coffee, 3 parliaments, take a big dump. Yeah, I'm not from Boston. What's going on, friends? Logan Myers here from Cinefellas to talk about Manchester by the Sea, or should I say Manchester fucking United? Now, Kenneth Lonergan's newest film stars Casey Affleck, Michelle Williams, Kyle Chandler, and Lucas Hedges. In this movie, we see Casey Affleck as this janitor slash handyman, and his brother passes away, which is played by Kyle Chandler, so he goes back to this East Coast town and to be there for the death of his brother and his nephew. And then, Casey Affleck's character, which is just really outstanding in this film. In the beginning, he's more quiet, depressing, kind of angry too. He was kind of a dick. He didn't know how to take his character at first until, some of the flashbacks of his life come into play. And then you start to understand and realize why he is the way he is because of what he's been through with his family and kids. So, throughout the movie we get flashbacks, of Casey in his younger days. He pretty much looks the same, never ages, but he has a little longer, crazier hair. But you see his backstory and why he ended up doing what he was doing and what happened to his family in the past. And then it plays alongside of the current situation of his brother's death and Casey trying to get guardianship of his nephew. Affleck's character is really standoffish. He doesn't want to be a guardian of his nephew, teenage nephew that's in a punk band. He has like a bunch of girlfriends. He's always trying to get laid. He plays hockey. And he's just a pain in Affleck's ass basically throughout the film. And they're both going back and forth, yelling and fighting all the time. And, "You're not my fucking guardian." All the Boston accents in this movie. But you can understand why Affleck, his character is very standoffish, and he doesn't want to be emotionally involved with people after what he went through. I'm not going to tell you what happens. That's something you have to figure out in the movie. But once they kind of show that in the flashback, what happened to him, everything else makes sense as to his character in the present. And just throwing this other story of him trying to take care of his teenage nephew and what they need to do, and if he needs to move back to Boston or stay there to be around the kid. And it was just an ongoing debate throughout the film of what Casey wanted and what his nephew wanted. Some standout performances in Manchester by the Sea is obviously Casey Affleck. I mean, he knocks this one out of the park. He's becoming one of my favorite actors. I have liked him in the last few movies he's been in. I really like 999, that cop thriller. But he's just a really good actor. He was hilarious in Saturday Night Live. I mean, he's all-around talented guy. And I think that Casey Affleck in this movie is definitely Oscar-worthy. Honestly, he was just amazing and probably one of his best performances to date. Other characters in the movie, we have Michelle Williams. She wasn't in the movie too long. She had, in the flashbacks and then a time in the present where he came across and had this really emotionally driven dialogue and start tearing up, but she plays his ex-wife, and she's part of the whole situation of their past where he's all fucked up in the head, and she's really great in this. She's a great actress. Kyle Chandler I always love from Friday Night Lights. Coach Eric Taylor, clear eyes, full hearts. In the parts of the movie that he's in, obviously he dies as Casey Affleck's brother, but in the parts he's in, he's definitely a really good character, and he brings his A game to this movie. But a really great performance that was one of the best in the movie was Patrick, played by Lucas Hedges, and he just was the perfect teenage guy. He's like, I have a few girlfriends, all I want to do is get laid, play in a band, play in the hockey team, just be a total asshole. And he played this character so well, and it just pissed Casey Affleck off throughout the whole movie because it just butted heads. Overall, I really loved Manchester by the Sea. It was everything I could hope and imagine, and it was a great story, well directed. I mean, a great cast and ensemble across the board. Definitely Oscar worthy for Best Picture, in my opinion, and Best Supporting and Best Lead Actor. And I'm hoping, you know, it racks up some awards here in a few weeks at the Oscars. And overall, the story in this film was just really, really well done. And you know, it's driven by the performances by the actors and actresses. But I mean, this story was something compelling and something different. And it just tears you apart, you know, watching this and to see the struggles of these people. And they're all fucked up in the head in different ways. And how all these different stories and backstories come together in the final product. And just kudos to the people that wrote the script. It was a really great story and with top-notch performances and directing. So I really love this one. I'm going to give it 4 out of 5. Hey, pieces/Oscars. You should definitely check it out if you haven't seen it, and make sure to watch the Oscars on February 26th. And see who wins. So this is Logan Myers signing out from Cinefellas. As always, shut the fuck up. Cheese! Go back to Starbucks.